I'm just letting you guys know we can continue this conversation, and I'll count us down to being to starting the official program. But we are officially live on Facebook, so we're good to go. So yeah, I mean, but we always give people some time to kind of come in and join the room. So yeah, we don't have to end this conversation. I mean, I will cue you to say, hey, here we go.
Christina, I'm going to get so emotional. I'm already feeling really emotional. I feel like my bottom lip quivering that you are going to college. Like, it is so crazy this whole year has gone by and you're all grown up now. Like,
it's so fast.
It did. It really did.
I really
Christina, you've been on the board for a while, right?
Yeah, since my sophomore year.
Wow. Yeah. So really that was the first, now we're getting into conversation that we could have if we were officially started. But so you were part of the original group, the first, I think we started it 3 years ago, I think, right?
I think I was I think I came in a year later. Because there were still like 2 or 3 people that were like talking about last year.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I'm listening. I'm just, I'm sharing it on my personal Facebook. Man, so, Bulldog. I don't think I knew that. I'm so excited for you now. There's gonna be so many more stories that we can share now that you're part of the family.
That's Zoe. Zoe's also UGA, right?
Yeah, Zoe too.
Zoe's going to Georgia. I mean, I ultimately I feel like the world would be a much better place if more students went to Georgia.
UGA.
I mean, there's no, obviously there's, that's just a fact. So that's what
I live like right next to Tech now, and like
a horrible place to live. Such a horrible place to live.
Whenever we walk by, like taking the dog on a walk, the football players are starting to do practice. And I remember my boyfriend was telling me that he saw them, and I thought of you immediately. I was like, Jeff would just walk on the other side of the street.
Yeah, like I didn't know Georgia Tech had a football team. I just kind of thought that the stadium sat empty all year. So. Yeah, like that's obviously the excessively petty side of me coming out. I have to be. So hey, we actually have a great group. So let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. I can talk about Georgia all day, and I'm sure in the comments there's about a 15-second delay. So I watch it from my phone to monitor the comment section, and so there's about 10 people watching now, and I'm sure there's going to get I'm going to get a couple smart comments about my hatred for that school up on North Avenue. So. This is so exciting. We're back. This is our first Facebook Live in probably a month. We took the month of July off. We did a lot for the month of May and June. And so we took the month of July off, recalibrate things. Who are we going to talk to? Who are we going to bring on? And our first conversation out the gate for the month of August is about teen dating violence, and really our Teen Dating Violence Advisory Board. So I'm super excited to have a rising bulldog joining me today. She moves in next Friday to the best university in the world, the University of Georgia. Go Dogs. So Christina, tell us who you are, introduce yourself, tell us why you chose Georgia, and then Jen, you do the same. Right after Christina's done, you hop in and tell us who you are and why you didn't go to Georgia, I guess.
So I'm Christina. I'm 18, and as he said, I'm going to UGA. I chose UGA because I felt like it was a really good middle school, median kind of test scores and everything. Like, it wasn't the super smart people, and it wasn't so I really liked it. I also kind of wanted a little bit of time away from the city. Even though I do like it, I was getting really annoyed with the traffic. So I just kind of wanted a calmer environment, and that was just kind of what came.
Awesome. Jen, hop in, man. Tell us who you are. What do you do for PADV?
Yeah, my name is Srijeyanthan. I'm the coordinator of dating violence prevention at PADV. I did not go to Georgia. I did my undergrad at Emory. I graduated out in 2018 with my degree in neuroscience and behavioral biology. I started off wanting to do like trauma and addiction research, and like as I worked with clients, I found myself more and more kind of heading toward the advocacy direction. And now I'm very, very happy to be closing out my first year with PADV, and it's been really, really awesome.
Man, all right, let's jump in. So today, we're going to actually be doing this in two parts, right? So today we're going to have a conversation solely focused on the Teen Dating Violence Advisory Board, because that's one of the more awesome things that I think we do. It's fairly new for the organization. And then I think in 2 weeks, we're going to come back and have a broader conversation around teen dating violence and in our favorite event, Teen Summit. So we're going to do this conversation a little bit different. Well, not different, but we're just going to have, look, there's always room for more teen dating violence conversation. So Jen, jump in here, man. Tell us why teen dating violence is such a pressing issue.
Yeah, so just so we're all on the same page, teen dating violence is defined as a lot of the abusive behaviors we see in intimate partner violence, so like physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, technological abuse, etc., within the context of teens and young adults. So for teen dating violence, what we primarily do is we work with middle schoolers and high schoolers on their dating habits and their dating norms. Teen dating violence, particularly in Georgia, is such a pressing issue because it is very chronic throughout our Georgia community. So for example, the CDC did find in a study that out of all the 50 states in the nation, Georgia ranked third for the rate at which high school students were being physically assaulted by their dating partners. Furthermore, we are 10th in the nation for where men kill women, and over 80% of these are homicides directly related to IPV. When they looked at the start of these relationships and the ages that these relationships started in, that then ended in homicide or murder-suicide, they found that over 50% of these cases were relationships that started between the ages of 13 and 21. So yeah, it's a huge issue right now in Georgia, especially down here in the Deep South. And, you know, it's important that we have conversations about it.
That's awesome. Thank you. Because that kind of really helps frame what we're talking about today. So before I jump over to Christina, I want to ask you a quick follow-up question. So what is the Teen Dating Violence Advisory Board?
Yeah, so the Teen Dating Violence Advisory Board is a really, really great opportunity for teens to take a firm stance at ending dating violence within their communities. At PADV, obviously we're all adults, none of us are teens anymore, which makes us all a little outdated, right? So the Teen Dating Violence Board is such an amazing asset to us because these are young people who want to end this culture of dating violence in their communities, and then also come and lend their time and their effort to help us be able to do our job in a more productive, targeted way.
Awesome. So Christina, I want to jump over and talk to you really quickly. You off camera, we were talking about that you had been on the board for 3 years, which is unique. You started when you were a sophomore, I think you said, in high school. Why did you apply to become a teen advisory board member?
I applied because one of my friends' moms was working with you guys, and she told me about the opportunity. She said that you guys were looking for new people, and at the time I was like just getting into clubs and extracurricular activities and just kind of like helping the world in a way. And it was just becoming like a big passion. So I applied, and I think we had an interview process then, and I got in, and yeah, I've been doing the work ever since.
So and I'm pretty sure this will come up. What's been your favorite part about being a board member?
I just like every time I think about the board, I just think about how all of us, like, when there was like the whole group, we would just sit and we would have like one topic to talk about, and we would like go down the line and everyone would have an idea, and then we would kind of like merge the ideas together, and it would be like the most perfect product ever, and we would be like, oh my gosh, wow, and we'd be so proud of ourselves, and it just made me so happy. And every time I just think about the team board, and like that's just what I think about.
That's awesome. And I think about you, obviously being 18 now, but when you joined being 16 years old, how many 16-year-olds can say that they're on a board? And so, just being able to carry that experience forward as you grow, I think it's going to be amazing for you. Jen, could you add some more texture to what exactly board members are doing? Like, so yes, I get it. I'm old. I don't know what teens want is, or I don't know how to, as best as I can. I'm not probably the best person to deliver programming or information on dating violence, right? So what is it that the board members are doing kind of day to day that make this experience for them so rich?
Yeah, so the board members are really, really awesome, and they do a lot of really great things for this agency and for their communities. So for starters, like I was saying earlier, they really help us curate a lot of our teen-focused programming to be as effective as it can possibly be. So I'll come to the board with like projects that we're working on or new initiatives that we want to take off. And we talk with the board members to see, do you guys think that this is something that can be done in your classrooms? Do you guys think this is something that people would want to participate in? And then they take this stuff themselves and then they go into their communities and advocate for ending dating violence. The team board members also help us kind of put together our major social media campaigns that we do through Twitter and Instagram. They gave us insights on what is good content, what is content that's relatable to teens, and the best way that we can kind of get it out and get more people involved in this program. The teen board also helps us every year with our yearly teen summit, which we will talk about in our Facebook Live later this month. And they help us create workshops. They help us give recommendations on what the theme is going to be. The theme this year actually was created by our teen board, and I super love it. It's 2020 Vision, See, Believe, Act. They help us create content. They help us by creating their own workshop that they want young people to see and experience. And yeah, they help us promote the event. Outside of that, we just have really, really great, rich conversations, about what dating violence looks like and what is the realities that young people are facing nowadays when they go through their communities.
Man, like this is so amazing to me because it truly is a working board and not a board kind of in name. Just to hear you talk about them informing how the organization as a whole delivers program to teenagers is amazing. I can tell you, since starting the team, since you guys started the teen board, there has been a dramatic shift in I won't say the quality of the content we post on social media that's teen related, but it's so much more targeted, right? Because what I think of as a marketer, when I think about marketing to people, it's always going to be 9 times out of 10 driven by how the adult will react to that content. But you guys have done such an amazing job of saying, hey, this may get adults' attention, but this is how we really kind of bring this thing home and get teens' attention through social or whatever we're doing. So that's been one of the most awesome experiences for me from the marketing side of things. So Christina, what lessons did you learn and how have you changed through your time as a board member?
Well, I started a while ago and I feel like I was just a baby. I don't know if that sounds like stuck up, but like I've grown a lot since joining the teen board, and especially like in the professional world. I think that I've learned communication and like communicating like concisely and really clearly is super important, because in a group setting that's really applicable. And we probably use that the most, is just everyone being able to communicate their ideas and understanding the other people in the group. And also I would think that before I kind of would listen to ideas, but I wouldn't really understand them. So I think with the board, I've really learned to just understand people's ideas and kind of merge them, like I mentioned earlier, kind of merge them into one big idea so everybody's happy and we have like all of the sides kind of being covered. So I just think that a lot of growth in the professional world happened, and kind of with that growth I've perfected my personal life a little bit. So
That's awesome. I do have a follow-up question, but I do want to let the audience know who's watching today. If you guys have questions, feel free for Jen or Christina, feel free to throw them in the comment section. Jen is our resident expert on all things dating violence, and so she can answer any of your questions, or neurobiology, brain science, whatever. She's just pretty and amazing. She's a pretty awesome person. So ask her whatever you feel like you need to. And Christina, our newest bulldog to the family, can answer all of your questions as well. She has not been to a football game yet, so we'll wait to the next time we have her for ask her about those questions. So Christina, how has, you talked about your ability to communicate. What I've learned from Jen and Sam in the dating violence team is one of the major components around dating violence is how do we as adults communicate with teenagers, but then also how do teenagers communicate better with adults that this is an issue, right? So how has your communication gotten better as you think about having these kind of conversations with mom or other adult leaders that how have you started to have those conversations?
I think before being a little, I guess I still am a teenager, but more a teenager, I wouldn't really care. Well, not care, but my mom's opinion would just be like, oh, whatever, it's mom. But now I've just kind of learned to see their point of view and to be a little more, I guess, soft towards their emotions, because I know that the parents' perspective is a lot different than the teens, because they've had this little being and then they've raised it, and they're going to be obviously more protective of it.
So do you feel like because your communication style with your parents has changed, has their communication style towards you changed in that same process, in that same way?
Definitely. I think that my mom has kind of, we used to argue a lot, and I think that she's kind of also becoming more understanding in a way. From my perspective, before it would just be like, it was just like a block between us, and now it's just kind of like opened up, and we both understand each other, or at least try to. And 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 she sees that I've matured, and she kind of like molds to that, and I see her perspective more, for sure. And it's just kind of both of the sides coming together.
So 2 points. You're gonna make Jen cry. and then you say all of that, and then you're running away from mom, and you're going off to college, is gonna leave her in a puddle of tears. So hey, so great. This is a really good conversation, Christina. 2 or 3 people have told you congratulations in the comment section, so want to make sure I share that with you. Again, ask questions if you have questions for Christina or Jen. Feel free to throw them in the comment section. Hit the like button 100 times. Hit the heart button a couple times if you love the conversation that we're having today. So Jen, how do these teens influence their friends and family to better understand dating violence?
Yeah, so to kind of start with like teens talking to other teens, I think the reality of it is like, I guess, how do I phrase this? Like, in the society we have a lot of gender norms, right? So a lot of the times with the young people, especially, like when we don't know what resources are available to help, we look at the phrase like bystander intervention, and we think it's more bystander than intervention, right? So with especially a lot of young people, it's when you're growing up and you see like a relationship issue happening, right, with your friend who's in an abusive relationship, like people are more or less likely to get involved because they're like, oh, that's their business, and also I don't want to get hurt. But in the reality of it, the number one protective factor for young people to be able, and even adults, to get out of these relationships is social support. So with young people, I think it's really important to like do check in with friends and like establish safety words or code words you can text one another if things are going south and you need help. Really just being present in folks' life, and also being really honest with one another about holding each other accountable, that you're growing, right? And you're not just changing, because I think those two are very, very different things. With young people influencing their families, I think Christina hit that mark so perfectly, like, I think when well, from the parent perspective, this is someone that you've like birthed and like raised, and now they have to go out and navigate this big scary world where you know as a parent violence exists, right? And like you can never think that's your kid, or you can never think that's someone that is friends with your kid, right? But then from the teen side, it's like I've spent my entire life under your household, and now I'm trying to have a little bit of freedom. So how, like, why do I want to communicate that with you if you're going to say no, right? And I think the biggest thing with parents and teens is to kind of acknowledge that reality with one another, like saying that as a parent, I understand that you are your own person and you are going to make your decisions. But if you need advice or you're in trouble, don't feel afraid to come to me, because I will always take your side. And then as a teen, being like, I know that you're worried and you're scared because the world's big and now I'm like an adult and I'm going off to do these things. But at the end of the day, like, I need to know that I can rely on you, because if things go south and I can't call you to be there for me, and like this then will be blamed on me, that's not going to help me get out of that situation either.
So what seems amazing to me, one, is the breadth of what you just said. That's the major thing, right? But then two, the fact that through the advisory board, what you guys are doing is empowering teenagers to have those conversations with other teenagers, right, and train. So we're training teens to be the trainer for other teens in their peer circle and other adults in their peer circle, which to me is just flat out amazing. One of the things you brought up, and I know this isn't really the time or space for the conversation, but you brought up resources that are available to teenagers who may be experiencing dating violence. And I do want to, at least because you said that, and I know this is not a conversation around dating violence as a whole, but since we have both of you on the live today, I want to at least just give y'all the space to talk about the resources that are available to teenagers who may be going through dating violence, because the last thing I would want to do was have that question pop up in somebody's head and then they not have that answer. So Christina, Jen, both of you guys, just talk about a handful of resources that teens have at their disposal if they're going through a dating violence situation or know a friend that is.
Well, I can speak more so on resources. I think Christina usually gives really great advice on how to talk to a friend.
There you go. Let's do that. Yeah.
So on the resources side, there's a ton available for young people. So first of all, like I said, social support is the biggest protective factor when it comes to dating violence and intimate partner violence. So if you have folks in your community that you can trust to go to, that's the first step, right? Having people that you can talk to that can keep you safe. On a larger scale, if you live in Fulton or Gwinnett or in any county that you're in, the county's domestic violence agency, more often than not, is trained to give advice on cases of teen dating violence if it does emerge in your life. So if you do need a professional help, if you do need to talk to an advocate about what your options are, you are free to call any hotline available to get advice on your situation and to see how that agency can help you get safe. Furthermore, there is a lot of really great hotlines that you can call. So for example, there's a national teen hotline for cases of teen dating violence, also regional, like a state-based to Georgia. Breaking Silence is a really amazing project that has created a teen text line for young people who are still in middle and high school, and also even for college students. They are run out of the Athens DV agency, Project Safe, but I really recommending using their hotline if you are in danger and you need advice from a professional.
Awesome. So Christina, jump in there, man, because Jen said you're awesome at giving advice. So for a teen that is in a dating violence situation, they come to you, how do you as a friend have that conversation?
I would definitely try to comfort the person first, and usually any teen situations, like teen dating violence situations that I've seen, have been more on the mild side. Like they don't involve like physical abuse, or they don't involve like any type of like marriage. So they've been a little more like just kind of emotional abuse. So I would just try to talk and comfort the person. And if I notice that the situation is kind of getting out of hand, honestly, the first person I would reach out to is Jen and PADV. But for sure, comfort the person, because I do have enough experience to help this person out and know exactly where they're coming from and know exactly what their troubles are in leaving their intimate partner. So I guess that's about what I would do. I haven't had to yet, thankfully. But yeah.
I think something really great to add to Christina's point as well is if you do have somebody in crisis, sitting down with them and completing a safety plan is a really, really solid way to have that person know what their options are, especially when violence is imminent. Safety plans, especially teen safety plans, I really recommend looking for the teen ones. Break the Cycle, which is a national organization, has a great safety plan that we distribute out whenever we do workshops. But sitting there and talking to that young person about, what's it like when you go to school? What's it like when you're at home? How does your abuser try to abuse you? All right, well, now that we know how they do that, let's figure out routes and avenues that you can take so that you can keep yourself safe as you kind of try to transition out of this relationship. I personally really, really recommend safety planning because when we look at statistics of IPV and also dating violence, the most dangerous point of any of these relationships is trying to get out. So safety planning is extremely, extremely important to do. And you can do that as a teen, you can do that as an adult. You just have to sit there and be somebody's advocate.
Right. And I do want to make sure we point out that Jen, like I said, very amazing person, really works hard, does a lot of great work in the community. So if you really want to kind of interface with her and begin to have that conversation around dating violence with your group, whether it's your church group or your youth group or a group of kids that you mentor or whatever, you can do that. You can email Jen at teenscene@padv.org. So literally right behind me, TEEN. Right, at padv.org. That'll go right to Jen, and she'll be able to kind of begin that process of interfacing with you around what is a safety plan, or hey, how can we do a virtual presentation right now since we're living in the world of COVID? How can we do a virtual presentation for your group so that they can understand, whether it's adult or teen, about teen dating violence more holistically? And obviously, if you want to be a board member, you can also reach out and talk to her that way. So yeah, so really some more questions, man. I'm really enjoying this conversation. A lot of friends are watching us today. Again, if you guys have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. We'd love to interact with you that way. So Jen, one of the questions I have for you next is how do these teens that are on your board really influence friends and family to better understand dating violence?
So kind of along the lines of what I was saying earlier, like the parents they have a certain perspective, the teens have a certain perspective, right? So I think the communication point is really, really important. And I really can't stress that enough because the statistic is ridiculous. I think they did a study and they found that on average, 60 to 80% of teens going to an adult or their parent is not the first person they go to in cases of any sort of violence. So the fact that adults really have a lot of the options that these young people can utilize, well, with parental consent. So for example, if you are in an abusive situation and you need a temporary protective order and you're under the age of 18, an adult has to file the petition on your behalf. And if we have young people who don't want to talk to adults or talk to their parents because they don't feel that the trust is there, we can't see if that option is applicable for them to go through the courts. Furthermore, in school settings, a lot of these cases are handled through Title IX. If young people don't have advocates that are adults that can help them navigate that process, it just becomes a lot of red tape, and that can be also extremely overwhelming to survivors. So I think it's really, really important for teens to tell their friends and also teens to tell parents and for everyone to kind of be on the same page that to really end teen dating violence, we need buy-in from all stakeholders that are involved in the perpetuation of teen dating violence. So yeah, I think communication is really the biggest thing,
So Christina, what was your most impactful thing that you were a part of while being on the board?
So with my duration on the board, I had the opportunity to also have an internship for my senior year. So I would think that the most impactful thing that I did would be writing the I've written curriculum for you guys. And that curriculum is distributed throughout high schools and other organizations in Georgia, which it's just crazy to think that my information, has been there and it's been on like flyers for you guys. And for sure, as a board, the Teen Summit organization kind of, and I've just seen, like, I've mentioned like the self-defense workshop. I've just mentioned it, and then you guys have been like, okay, we got it. And then I see it a few months later and I'm like, oh, wow, this is me.
No, I think what's amazing, and I think you are so humble in how you're describing your help with Teen Summit. But Teen Summit is, for those who don't know, is an event we put on every year, and we typically see 400 to 500 teens and adults at this event. And so the fact that you can say at 16 through 18 that I helped put on an event for 400 teens and adults. I mean, I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit there, but we appreciate you for your hard work.
Yeah, Christina's great.
Yeah. So I have two more. I have literally one more question for each one of you guys. And again, comment section if you have questions, feel free. But I have one more question for each one of them, and they're almost the same. But so I'll start with Jen. Why should parents watching today encourage their teens to become? Why should parents watching today encourage their teens to become advisory board members?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Parents, for any of the parents that are watching, like, this is such a great opportunity for your young people. Like Christina was saying earlier, like, your young people are going to learn about marketing skills. They're going to learn about clear communication. They're going to learn about presentation, event management, helping to put together social media campaigns, all of which, no matter what field or major your child chooses to pursue, are really critical skills that young people should learn, arguably before they go into the college environment, right? Because you're just kind of thrown into all of that. And, Christina's going to do so well, not because of us, not because of the board, but because, like, the type of person she is and the person she's grown into, Also, we're awesome. So your kids will be around some really great people who love to do this work and have made this type of work their mission. And if you feel that your teen cares about gender issues and you want your teens to kind of have more of an exposure to this particular topic, this is a fantastic opportunity for them to get involved and also bring that back then to the communities that they call home.
So Christina, did you give us a shout out in your essays that you wrote to Georgia to get in? I mean, was PADV anywhere in there, or did you just kind of, I'm going to skip that?
I had like a little thing where I could explain my extracurricular. Mm-hmm. So I wrote, PADV, and then I put that it was like an amazing community that helps me grow. I can send it to you guys if you want. But yeah, I put like that I have a lot of personal growth and just my work. I definitely thoroughly explained everything, but on my application, you guys were most certainly there.
Well, that wasn't my last question. I just had to make sure that you gave us a shout out in your college.
I did.
So my last question for you is really the same as Jen's, but from the teen perspective. So why should teens become a part of this board?
I think I'm kind of the person that kind of strives a lot for self-growth. And if any other teen is like that, I believe that this is a really, really good opportunity for self-growth. And just if you join this board and you take the time to really understand all the professional aspects of it, you will grow so much as a person. And PADV also offers so many opportunities to work with other organizations. Like I worked with Chris 180, I believe, Athena's Warehouse, and I've worked with C21 with communication skills. So it's just been a great all-around experience for me as a teenager, and it's just great for anybody. I would recommend it to anyone.
Man, you guys have given a lot of shout outs to people today. So shout out to Chris 180. Shout out to our PR firm, Communications 21. So, there's a lot of people getting free press from both of you. Hopefully, if you want to donate to PADV because of this awesome press, PADV.org, click the donate button. We welcome all and every donation. So really, I want to kind of round this out for everybody. I do want to make sure that everyone has access to the dating violence information. So before we go, you can obviously find out about all of PADV's dating violence work on our website. You just come over to learn, drop down to teen dating violence. And there's a couple outshoots there, but the main point I'd like to share with you guys is this is the main hub for teen dating violence information. And then if you scroll down, here's the content about the advisory board. And you just click here to get to your application. And it's a really quick process to fill out that application. And we do encourage you to be a part of this board. This is literally one of the most amazing things that we do as an organization. And I think it's simple because it's teens really understanding how to give back and understanding how to network and how to interface with other teens and planning large scale programs. I didn't really get it involved even in my high school setting as I think back about planning large scale programs or dealing with communication skills and things like that until I got to college. And so these teens are getting a jump on all those skills that are going to be necessary for the future. I do encourage you to follow them on social as well, at PADV Teen Scene on Instagram and Twitter. One of these days, Jen will start a Snapchat for you guys. But you know,
on a TikTok,
and you know, assuming we have TikTok, you know, we'll get a TikTok as well. But anyway, I think that there's if you're looking for just great teen related content, then following them at PADV Teen Scene on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to follow PADV, you can follow us at PADV Atlanta on all of the social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you need us for any reason, whether you're a teen or an adult, you can see our crisis line is 404-870-9600. Excuse me, that's not our crisis line. That's our regular phone number, but 404-873-1766. I'll say that one more time. 404-873-1766 is our crisis line number. And again, just want to make sure that everybody has access to all of the resources that they need. If you need Jen for anything, you want to schedule a presentation, teenscene@padv.org. Right there again, right there on our website. So all of the information that you need to be an advocate or to help save a teenager's life is right there on our website. And we encourage all of you guys to sign up for the Teen Advisory Board. So, Christina, thank you so much.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Your PADV family will be with you always as you travel to UGA. And obviously as a Bulldog, your Bulldog family is going to be with you as well. So if there's ever anything that we can do for you as you think through what I need to move forward in college, please feel free, reach out to me or Jen, and we'll make it happen for you. Jen, you're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for
did y'all have fun today?
Oh yeah, this was cool.
Awesome. Hey, if you had fun today watching our live, make sure you share it with somebody. Make sure you like it, comment, all the things, right? Make sure you like it, comment, share, because there's some valuable information here for everybody. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye.